The city was gone. Not literally, not yet, but it might as well have been. Just a swirling, gray-green screen of mist beyond my window, swallowing everything. The sky, the neighboring towers, the very idea of an outside. I was on the night shift, logged into the building's security system, trying to pretend it was just another Tuesday, just another anomaly report. I checked the monitors, adjusted the ventilation, made sure the lockdown protocols were still holding, door by door. And that's when I saw it. The first crack, I guess you could call it. A camera feed from the 30th floor, an admin office area, was glitching. Just a slight flicker, then back to normal, like a tired eye blinking. The system logged it as a minor software error. I frowned, made a mental note. Not a big deal usually. Maybe just interference from the heavy fog outside. My chair groaned under me as I shifted. I kept scrolling through the other floors, just making sure no one had somehow bypassed the lockdown. We were all stuck in here now, everyone who hadn't evacuated before the mandate came down. A few hundred souls, maybe. I sipped my coffee. It was lukewarm, tasted like ashes. Then a dry cough caught in my throat. Just a little tickle. The air in here was recycled. Maybe it was just dry. That happens, right? I tried to tell myself that. But then I looped back to the 30th floor camera feed. It wasn't just flickering this time. John, one of our night guards, was walking down the corridor, pulling at his collar. And for a split second, his face on the monitor, it stretched like taffy. His jaw elongated, his eyes pulled flat and wide, then snapped back to normal. Just for a heartbeat. My own heart leaped into my throat. At the same time, a smell hit me. Tangy, damp, like something left outside too long, something you really wouldn't want to smell. It was faint, but it was there, coming from the ventilation vent right above my console. And under it, a low, guttural hum. Like someone was breathing, very heavily, very close by. But there was no one else in the control room. I swear, the hairs on my arms stood up. My skin started to itch, not a deep itch, just a surface thing, like insects crawling under the surface. I slammed my hand on the desk. "Come on," I muttered. My voice sounded thin, shaky. This wasn't a software error. This wasn't just dry air. I started clicking furiously, pulling up the building's internal heat map, scanning for any thermal anomalies, anything that could explain this. My hands were trembling, I noticed. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I mean, I've seen weird things. Tech glitches, drunk security guards, even a fire alarm prank once. But not this. Never this. The building was supposed to be a fortress, my fortress, and it felt like it was betraying me, one system at a time. I was still staring at the heat map, a swirling mass of blues and greens, when the alarm went off. Not a blare, more like a polite, insistent beep from my personal tablet. It was an automated alert from B3, the old archive storage, the place I'd seen on the camera not long ago, where a door had been ajar, not really used anymore. Unauthorized intrusion, the alert read. My breath hitched. I snapped the camera feed to B3. The room was dark, but my screen's night vision picked it up. And, holy hell, the walls, the shelves, the old filing cabinets, they were all covered in these thin, almost translucent gray-blue strands, like a veil. But it wasn't a veil. It was growing, pulsing gently. And some of the strands, they had these tiny, faint lights blinking, like 1,000 tiny, tired eyes. And there was someone, or something, a figure slumped on the floor in the middle of it all, swaying slightly. I zoomed in, my finger shaking on the trackpad. My heart hammered, a frantic drum against my ribs. It had to be a trick, a display glitch, some sick joke. But the smell from the vent was suddenly overpowering, sweet, decaying, like something rotting from the inside. The figure moved. It raised its head slowly, and I saw him. John. John, the night guard from the 30th floor. My stomach lurched. His face. It was mottled, a sickening blue-purple under the greenish light of the camera. His eyes were wide open, glazed over, no focus there at all. His mouth opened, and he coughed. A thick, inky black fluid spilled from his lips, splattering onto the floor. And then I saw them. Thin, pale strands, just like the ones on the walls, starting to sprout from the corners of his mouth, from around his eyes. He looked right at the camera. I swear to whatever God was left, he looked at me. And then he slowly, so slowly, raised one hand. His fingers were already swollen, discolored, looking thick, like roots. He pressed his hand against the camera lens. And on my screen, right there on the glass of my monitor, a gray-blue handprint appeared, just like the one I was seeing on his hand, on the camera feed. It was exact, as if his distorted, fungal finger had reached right through the screen and touched me. I gasped, a painful, choked sound, and shoved my chair back, away from the console, away from the screen. My mind screamed, this wasn't real, this couldn't be real. I'm hallucinating, I whispered. My voice was broken. Definitely hallucinating. I must be. Too much stress, that's it. I pinched my arm, hard. It stung. This handprint, I must have touched the screen myself. Yeah, that's it. But the gray-blue print on my screen wasn't fading. No, it was dissolving, like toxic smoke, like it was sinking into the glass. And the smell, that thick, cloying, moldy smell was so strong now I could barely breathe. It was right here, in the room with me. Not a hallucination. It was real, and it was here, in my building, in my control room. I scrambled out of the chair, my legs shaking, and practically ran out of the control room. The clicking sound from the server room, that faint, rhythmic tap, seemed to follow me. I didn't look back. I just needed to get away, to my apartment, to somewhere, anywhere that felt safe. I fumbled with my keycard at the apartment door on the 58th floor, swiping it 3-4 times before it finally clicked open. Inside, I slammed the door shut, locking every single lock, overriding the automatic system with the manual deadbolts. I wanted to be trapped, safe in my own skin. I stumbled over to the sofa, my breath coming in ragged gasps, trying to force air into my lungs. My chest felt tight, constricted. I closed my eyes, pressing the heels of my hands into them. Just breathe, Sarah. Just breathe. When I opened them again, I saw my personal tablet. It lay on the coffee table, right where I'd left it. And on its screen, a new notification had popped up, an internal security alert. I stared. It read, B3 security camera, abnormal activity. Biological contamination confirmed. Unlock emergency doors, logistics level 58. My blood ran cold. My own floor. Logistics level 58. My apartment was on the logistics level. My floor, it's been unlocked? My voice was just a choked whisper. I stared at the message, reading it again and again and again. I ripped my gaze from the tablet, scrambling to my feet. I checked the door I had just locked. It was secure. Every deadbolt was engaged. I looked back at the tablet. The alert was gone, vanished. Instead, the screen showed a static, grainy image. John lying motionless in B3. And then, slowly,
A single line of text began to crawl across the bottom of the screen, handwritten in that sickening gray blue. Welcome home. The chill from that tablet screen had sunk deeper than my skin, right into my bones. Welcome home. The message had flickered, then gone, but the echo of it, that was stuck. My own floor, the 58th. Not safe anymore. Nowhere was safe. So I hadn't stayed, not even a second more. I'd run, my breath catching in my throat with every step, every whisper of the building's dying systems. Up, always up. Higher meant safer, my brain had screamed. A lie I knew now, but a desperate one. I found myself barricaded on the 60th floor, in what used to be a little break room, unused mostly. Metal walls, a scratched steel table, the kind you eat stale sandwiches off. It was less a safe room and more a delay. I had a sat phone, one of the old emergency ones from the building manager's stash. Heavy, clunky. I'd managed to get it working, a green light blinking weakly. I placed it on the steel table. A dull thud. Just for a second, I thought it was done. Just needed a moment to catch my breath. I took 2 steps back, leaned against the cold metal wall. And that's when it started. A low hum. Not from the phone, from the wall behind it. A long, drawn-out roar, like a massive, tired engine, but deeper. I turned, quick. The phone was there, still on, but it had shifted.